2013 League of Legends All-Star Weekend. It's just about time for our first individual top lane skills competition match between the Chinese LPL All-Star PDD and the European LCS Soaz. But first, here's a refresher on the rules.
So here's how 1v1 competitions work. Each player gets up to 3 bans and then blind picks their champion, which means mirror matches are possible. Then when they spawn into the rift, each player starts at level 1, gets 475 gold to spend, and then minions come out at 30 seconds.
There are 3 ways to win these 1v1 matches. Take down the first tower, draw first blood, or be the first to get 100 CS. Do any of these and you move on to Day 3's competition finals.
Now let's take a look at the All-Star top laners, starting with North America and the LCS TSM's Dyrus. And then Fnatic's Soaz is representing the European LCS.
For the Garena All-Stars, it's Stanley from TPA, and CG Entus Frost's Shai will be repping the Korean LCS All-Stars. And then from the Chinese LPL, it's PDD of Invictus Gaming.
And on Thursday, there was playing games between the LCL Shai and North America LCS Dyrus, and Shai defeated Dyrus and eliminated him from the skill tournament. I think it was a cannon dive on a Soraka at level 2 or something like that. It was pretty crazy stuff. So with 4 tops left, who do you expect to come out on top in this one?
It's a really hard one to call. I mean, we saw yesterday PDD. For me, I wasn't sure how PDD was going to react here to being on this big stage. He's at home after all.
He reacted pretty well.
And that's the point. Yesterday, he was absolutely formidable with that Rumble.
And he's really considered the king of Chinese solo queues. So you know his individual sort of 1v1s and just general, man, I'm really good at this game, are super up to date.
And the thing is, they don't have to stick to those top laners. There's something we talked about yesterday, obviously, with the junglers. We saw double Caitlyn's from 2 junglers.
Yeah.
It's something. Going to see double Lee Sin, by the way, for the final. Going to be good, that one is. That will be to Day 3, of course. What are we expecting from these guys? Bearing in mind the top laners, we've seen Nunu coming out from Soaz. We've seen Wicked and Soaz going at it to get here. The challenge for this one. We saw Riven coming out a few times, but they don't necessarily have to stick to those champions. And maybe, just maybe, Soaz, with such an enormous champion pool, may have something up his sleeve.
I actually expect them to play their normal sort of champions, though. Like I kind of expect that the top laners will tend to play champions like Jason Nunu, and then you're going to kind of see that branch out. Like you'll see more of the traditional mid lane 1v1 Zed, Kha'Zix, things like that from the mid laners in the 1v1 competition.
Well, no matter who comes out on top in these skill competition matchups, all 5 All-Stars have a ton of respect for their fellow top laners.
Top lane's just a rough place to live when, you know, you got some junglers coming into your neighborhood and just ruining your day.
我觉得对上路来说，经验跟思考能力是最重要的。
The most important thing in top lane is finding a champion that helps a lot in team fights, like Rumble and Diana.
你要熟悉这个版本所有的上单英雄，当对方拿到什么样的英雄，我该怎么样打。
You could be the best top laner in the world, but if the enemy top laner has like a kill on you or like a small experience advantage, then you're done.
멘탈 같은 걸 조정 못하고 많이 깨지면 플레이도 안 나올 뿐더러 또 탑 같은 경우는 뭐 지더라도 다음에 또 이겨야 된다 이런 생각이 또 있어야 더 실력 상승이 될 뿐 아니라서
I see top laners that can carry, I see top laners that can innovate, top laners that have been at the top. Honestly, there's no top laner from each team where you can say is like, oh, he doesn't deserve to be there. They all are really, really good.
I think they are good, or they won't come to the All-Star game.
다 잘해서 좀 부담감이 많아요.
I'm honestly looking forward to playing all of them because that's just where I measure myself up to. And win or lose, I'm going to learn something from it.
And now it's time for the first semi-final match in the top lane skills competition. So let's meet the players. On the blue side, representing the Chinese LPL All-Stars from Invictus Gaming, we saw how dangerous his Rumble can be yesterday. It's PDD.
And on the red side, representing the European LCS All-Stars, is Fnatic's Soaz.
All right, the players getting ready for Champion Select. Coming into this match, what do we expect to see from these 2 guys? PDD we saw with Rumble yesterday, pretty phenomenal, honestly. So as we've seen coming into this, he's pulled out Nunu before. Definitely wasn't too impressed by Wicked there, but we've already seen this guy. This is the one person we've seen in a best of 5 already. And then what were we thinking? Because PDD, he's got a pretty big champion pool himself.
Yeah, so certainly they could pick out almost anything. So calling attention to the Rumble and the new picks you talked about, Rumble doesn't 1v1 all that well at very, very low level. It's around 4 or 5. He starts to ramp up. This is, though, patch 3.6, so the consume changes are not in. You could play Nunu and out-sustain everything and just try to kind of reach the 100 minion mark because you're never going to fall over in lane. Those are absolute possibilities here.
And I think that's a real hard thing to call at this stage of a 1v1 tournament, that because you can play anything. Let's look back to yesterday, Caitlyn versus Caitlyn in the jungle, 1v1. Yeah. So it's really hard to say specifically what these players will go for, and I'm not sure exactly how much individual 1v1 training these teams have done, within the ranks. Maybe they've found something out there that we're not quite aware of how strong it can be in these 1v1 games.
I'm not really quite sure, just because I talked to Chai yesterday and I was like, so did you practice for your 2v2 doll? He's like, well, no, we've been practicing for the All-Star game because we really want to win the team tournament. The morning of, we talked about strategies and whatnot, but I think outside of a little bit of powwowing, they're more focused on the team competition.
Oh, okay, so let's rather than what they're going to pick, what do we think they're going to ban? Because yesterday we saw quite a few of the same bans throughout the tournament. Nunu was one of them. Annie was banned quite often, actually.
Yeah.
Varus has kind of been hit and miss. Don't know whether she's going to begin. Caitlyn, if not banned, tends to get picked. Kennen almost certainly has been a ban and did get picked twice in the China versus LPL.
Yeah.
China versus LPL are playing each other.
Yes.
China versus LCL.
Well, so champions like Kennen and Caitlyn are very self-sufficient. You can just deal damage and then kind of combo with yourself. Annie doesn't do that as much. I mean, she has good stuns and good, crowd control for that reason. But until she gets level 6, she can't all in you. There's no way she can do that, really. And so, and when we saw Thresh and Blitzcrank getting grabbed up, again, those are 2v2-centric champion picks. So you'll see self-sufficient AD carries, Ezreal, Tristana, Caitlyn, Kennen, guys like that. You'll see them a fair bit. Or you'll go all out sustain you, and I'll play Nunu or Udyr.
Yeah, and I think Nunu, I'm sure that PDD has seen that game against Soaz, that famous best of 5 that drew incredible amounts of people to watch it. If he's seen that, which again I'm sure he has at least heard of by now, that a Nunu probably won't be in there.
No, and actually, if I recall, I'm trying to think back to yesterday, but I'm pretty sure it was banned in every game. Nunu was, because they were just like, nobody wants to deal with that. It's just annoying. It's an annoying champion in the top lane. But what does surprise me so far in these skill games is the fact that not one person's gone for an ability powered champion. Nobody's gone for those AP. Just something to burst something that up. Well, Heimer's kind of like a hybrid.
Okay.
And it didn't work. It was close, though. It was very close. I'll give St. Vicious credit. It was very, very close. And like you said, if it had landed that concussion grenade, well, they may well have won it. Who knows?
It's kind of interesting because while you are seeing champions like Kennen and Annie and Heimer, the hybrid or whatever, the fact that they're building attack damage atomization is because you're trading so much, right? Like Doran's Blade Annie's because, well, I'll auto attack a lot at 625 range and I have to last hit because I can't get behind 100 minions. In a regular game where they're AoEing everything, okay, I'd buy a bunch of ability power, but here it's just, well, the first 7 minutes and I'll just attack you a bunch.
Well, we're going to get into champion select then, and we can tell you, as you can see, even on the bottom left-hand side of your screen, Zyra, the first ban out here by PDD, and Kennen banned out by Soaz.
Yeah, no surprise with the Kennen ban. There's the Caitlyn ban. So these are champions that we've already seen banned quite a lot in this one. Quinn also we've seen banned quite a few times, actually. Alexic beat Skara with Quinn, didn't he? When that was we've also seen a number of supports, like the Lulu's been coming through. Soraka was a popular choice, and I'm trying to think what happened when we gave this a full-run test with the North American players. Victor was one of the strongest champions we saw in that, and yet nobody so far has gone near him.
There's just so many champions to look at, and because you don't see some of them so much, right? Like Annie we have barely ever seen, and we see her once every 3 months in competitive, and then she comes back. It's actually she's really, really good. And you think about the really good dueling champions, right? Victor shields himself, things like that. There's just a lot of opportunities here for even different play styles.
So the Elise banned the final one from PDD, a champion which Soaz knows, let's put it this way. And there is a Draven final ban. There's Nunu currently for Soaz and Ezreal
I would love
for PDD.
If Soaz can pull this one out, if he allows him through, which it looks like he may well go for it, there's no reason why not. He's just such an annoying champion, and honestly, on an Ezreal, I don't think you're going to have enough burst. He's just going to keep consuming.
The early lane is going to be difficult because Consume has a fairly long cooldown to heal for a ton super early on. He's locked it in.
Oh my god.
The first 3 levels are the hard part for Nunu, and then he becomes almost immune. And the question then becomes, can PDD last hit successfully? Because you can probably stay ahead that way with the early game advantage before Nunu starts ice blasting in the face, pushing him out of lane.
So, without putting jokes aside in there, you know, my love for Soraka and Nunu is blatant.
Yes.
But with the fact that Nunu's going to be doing constant annoying damage in there, is Soraka actually a good option with the silence, with the star call, with the heal?
I could see it, honestly. The only champion I wouldn't want to see... It would be great. The only champion
Bananas versus snowballs. It's just like... I could only imagine the grin that will be ear to ear right now. It could be crazy. But PDD's actually looking at this and he's considering it. Oh, he's switching.
Well, Joe, I actually want to 1v1 you at some point because I'll counterpick you with Wukong because every attack will feed me.
Went for the banana, Joe. Good monkey. I see what you did there. We've switched it across. He's maybe going to go for Annie. Last second, switch is over. And honestly, I'm not sure Annie can stand against Nunu.
That's going to be really, really rough. I don't think she could out-damage him very easily either. But again, we're probably going to see Doran's Blades attack damage Annie, and we'll just keep freaking throwing fireballs at him and hope he falls over.
Well, fire counters ice.
True. Double damage bonus, man.
I think we should also mention at this point, for those at home who are a little bit confused as to why you would pick Annie into a Nunu. This is, of course, blind pick. Yes. So they don't see what they're picking. Obviously, they see what's being banned out there. But it's going to be Annie versus Nunu, an interesting matchup here between PDD and Soaz. And I honestly have to say my cards right now are with Soaz. After seeing his Nunu before and knowing the matchup that he's in with here, I think he might have this one.
There's a really, really good chance for him. So I want to see what their opening builds end up being. And it's interesting because in talking to Double Lift, he said, man, the lanes are so short, like just shove and walk back and shove and walk back. You don't need anything but Doran's Blades. PDD's like, I'm opening up Flask. And heck, 22 ability power.
And we should point out here, this is kind of a fun competition. It's not megally serious. It's fun to see how it works out. It's great to see the top players of the world going head-to-head against each other. And you know, who doesn't want to see Diamond Prox versus Insect, Messiah versus Alexich, stuff like that. I mean, they're the champions that people want to see playing against each other. And as it is, Soaz versus PDD. I mean, the top laners, when you think of it, it was a pretty stacked tournament in itself.
And it's fun that they're signing up for mirror matches too. I'm really looking forward to that Lee Sin mirror.
It's using Knight already.
Yeah, well, it's 5 ability power on attack damage. Why the heck not? So, you know, this is going to be kind of the battle, right? Is Nunu going to run forward, auto attack minions, take fireballs to the back, and then hope he can just consume up forever.
Taking a lot of harass here.
Yeah, he is taking a lot of harass. I mean, we saw him basically what he's gone for. He's consumed first. PDD actually going aggressive in there, so didn't go with that snowball force. He went with consume at level 1. And I think he was trying to conserve that mana, you know, build up those 5 attacks so that he gets that free spell out first.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised just at how much he's pushing, but you know, PDD only has 1 spell available, so...
Straight back full health, and he's going to harass. Now he's at level 2, of course, he's got Ice Blast as well as Consume, so this is where the poke starts coming out from Soaz.
Yep.
He's used the Brilliance part as well, so he's going to start getting the ability power on him. And PDD, he's going to get forced on the tower, but there's not a lot that Soaz can do to him on the tower. In fact, there's so much so he's taking tower hits, and he doesn't really care.
Yeah, but here comes the hard part for PDD. He's got to try to last hit under the turret, and you can see it's 10-11. Soaz is winning this game right now.
Up until this point, that's certainly the thing that's going on. We do see some damage coming in. That's what PDD's got to do here, I feel, is to try and keep Soaz from pushing those minions underneath his turret, where Annie's not going to be at a strong point at this level.
And he's only got 2 magic resists as well from Runes and Mastery, so those Ice Blasts are hitting super freaking hard.
The cooldown's only going to get quicker. That's what he's aiming for. There's another one. He's going to hit. The problem is, it's not exactly that much burst to take him down. He's going to hit him and hit him and hit him. He's just going to keep chucking the potions, and he can just walk back. So it's only until that sort of damage gets so strong, which it is kind of forcing him out of lane right now.
Yeah, and PDD realizes, okay, Soaz got an Ignite, one more Snowball plus an Ignite, and I'm probably dead from that one. So I'm going to have to back away from this one. We can see there the CS at this stage is 22 to 14. That's already a large lead building for Soaz.
And here comes the difficult thing for PDD. So he's grabbed a Ruby Crystal there. That's going to be nice for him. He's going to get some sustain, or some health, I should say, to withstand it. Soaz grabs a Torrens ring, so just bigger snowballs the entire day. The one saving grace for PDD is it's really easy to watch an Ice Blast and barrier it, so he'll be able to block one full Ice Blast whenever he needs to.
We'll see whether he does get a chance. Of course, the stun's going to get built up once again by PDD. And what would go through the players' minds right now? I mean, this is a totally alien environment really that they're going at. Yeah, God, I hate Nunu. I think everyone in solo queue right now is probably like, God, I hate Nunu.
Yeah, well, again, this is 3.6, so the consume is stronger now than it is on live, and you're seeing exactly why we changed consume, guys.
Well, PDD is trying his best to put down as much damage as he can on towards Soaz here. Will stun him up as well, but
miss the flame.
Yeah, that's the bad thing here. He can't afford to be missing really anything at this stage.
No, I mean, he's brought it a little bit closer. He's only -5 now. He was -8. And I kind of want to see how this ends up scaling through. Because Soaz, I don't think he's even going to learn Blood Boil. I think he'll actually leave the skill point, just unlearn, because he's like, screw it, not worth it. And I want to see how Andy can itemize against this.
He's gone for the boots again. We saw this yesterday, and it didn't really work out too well. Oh, he missed the CS though on the last one. That's going to be a bit of a big hit. Yeah, that's the 40+ gold one. He's just missed out on there. But he's going to keep on chugging through, keep on throwing those. He's going to get a couple of tower hits on him this time. And that's going to be a good bit of damage for PDD. But look at that, he just turns around, Ice Blast back in your face.
Yeah, so that's what Nunu does, man. He just trucks on through, doesn't take any damage. I think Demolish for Nunu is the right skin for him, because he's finished demolishing this match right now.
But I mean, he knew you were casting this one, so maybe he could have gone for Nunu bot.
I would have loved that.
And started spamming.
Spamming that, man. I learned these moves from Freak. It's the line. It's worthwhile.
Well, he's having a good laugh of things there as well, and it's just snowball, consume, snowball, consume, and PDD having to trot back there with Annie to heal himself back up. Already closing in on towards that 50 mark here. Of course, 100 CS, first tower or first blood is enough to win the game.
And of course, he's about halfway there. The turret's not taking much damage. PDD is doing a good job of keeping that one pushed off his turret, a little bit, but the minion score is getting rough, and I haven't seen Annie get anywhere close to killing Nunu. The big point's going to be level 6. If you can get level 6 and break Soaz with Tibbers, that's the opening for PDD.
Scumbag move. You're in the bush. I know you are. I'm going to flame you. So they're both going to go back and buy. What is he going to get? Is he going to be a second Doran's ring here? I don't see him getting for boots. I don't see any reason. He's going to get a brilliance pot, actually, and a second Doran's ring. Meanwhile, it's a single brilliance pot for PDD.
Okay, so that's PDD saying, look, I'm about to be level 6. He's actually, let's see, yeah, he's half a bar away, so about 2 waves till he's 6, and he's going to chug all the ability power and then all in. The only problem is Soaz has 53 MR from Runes and Masteries, so he's doing a bit less damage.
Oh, he's going to go straight in. Oh, absolute zero. He's going to pop it just before he gets out of range. Remember, Tibbers will be available in a minute. That may well turn things around.
Yeah, okay, and he did burn Barrier to help block the damage out as well. PDD has Ignite, but so does Soaz. The Soaz has a Barrier.
Tibbers is very, very close. He's about to level up. Just needs to, he's trying to get in to get a consume, but he knows there's that danger of Tibbers any moment. How much damage he's putting out?
It's too much damage right now for PDD. Even with Tibbers coming up, it's not got the constant damage that you need to get this Nunu out. And PDD going very low. The Ignite is down. Minion gets that hit off. Is it going to be enough? Not quite. One more tick needed.
Wow, that is actually mass for PDD now. He's actually got a cooldown advantage at this point.
34 hit points he went down to.
Yeah.
That was close. That was very close.
Oh man, I mean, Soaz though, the thing is he's closing in, right? He's almost at 60 minions right here. And PDD, he's got to hit 6 and just make that move like right away.
Which is what it looks like he's trying to do. He wants to get that stun out. Of course, the tower's going to clear out the waves. He's building up. He's got Tibbers ready. He wants to go looking for it, but it's gone. It's gone already.
So that's going to go buy up. If you bought a negative
problem now, right? I mean, PDD, how is he going to get the tower down?
And look at his face. Look at him in the bottom corner. He's actually scratching his head. He's a little bit concerned about this one, PDD. And, he was such a confident. We saw him in the video just at the start there, where he was doing a big fist in the air, waving it. He's a very confident boy. And the guy gets mobbed in this arena. Every time he's walked out, they have absolutely ran to him. So this, on home turf, he's really up against it against Soaz here.
How does he win it? That was my main point that I was trying to get out there. I mean, what does he have to do? It's got to be a full combo. It's all in.
I mean, he can keep leveling up to get his Q and W stronger. He can keep leveling up for ability damage, right? He can still get up to level 13. He'll up in damage against Soaz, and that will outscale Soaz's health generation. So I mean, I don't think you want to fight against Nunu's Ignite, but basically it's gain levels at 95 minions, all in Nunu, hope it works.
95 minions, yeah, that exactly is the point that he may have to do it, because he's already at 71, and it doesn't seem like the scaling's quite working out for Annie just yet. Level 7 already for Soaz. PDD a little bit away from that one. He's going back to buy, and he's going to get himself another brilliance pot. He's going to be coming back, glowing into the lane against PDD. And PDD, though, has got Tibbers ready, and Absolute Zero is another 30 seconds away.
That's what he's got to rely on, I think, at this point. Absolute Zero is not there for Soaz. Let's get him stunned up again, but again, Soaz will just norm it all straight back up there, and you can see the amount of health that he gets straight back in the whole time that's going on. Snowball after snowball. PDD again finds himself with about a third of his HP left.
That's what Nunu does to you, man. He's going to keep throwing things at you, and even though fire is the hard counter to ice, and apparently Yeti is the hard counter to fire.
Do you think if he puts Tibbers down, Tibbers is just going to want to hug? He's like, I've had another bear!
Maybe. I mean, the thing is, you can even consume Tibbers. Like, that's the problem, is level 1 Tibbers.
Tibbers!
It only has... Oh, Twitter doesn't tell me the health. I mean, Tibbers is not the tankiest thing in the world. Like, Soaz could probably just kill it if he wanted to.
Soon and Ice Bolt. See you later, Tibbers.
Thanks for the help.
Yeah. Right? Like, Tibbers, like, casting R would heal Soaz at this point.
And he's not far away here. 83 minions already taken down to the 53 of PDD. And you can see there, Annie underneath the tower, that's not a strong place to be.
He's trying to bait it out there this time around. He sat there purposely, and now, oh, he's going to pop the Absolute Zero, gets another half health down, and he keeps chunking PDD down. Now see if he's going to bait it again. No, he is going to back by. It's going to be another Doran's Ring, surely.
Well, there's only 11 minutes to go for him, so the next 2 waves is when PDD has to all in. Problem is, he waited long enough that Soaz just now got Ignite back, so...
He's gone for a Fortitude pot.
Yeah, he's got to get the burst health. He knows he's a minute away from winning the game.
And the other thing is, with him so close to minions, it's like, well, I'm going to use Absolute Zero to get Annie away, but also just, you know, take out an entire minion wave with me. So this is just looking rather impossible for PDD.
This has got to be all in. He's at 95 CS after this wave. Oh, he's interrupted in getting 1 CS, but he's really throwing everything he's got on him here. He has to go all in for it, and that's what seems like what he's trying to do. There's the barrier already, but again, the burst goes down, the Ignite is on. He's only got Tibbers left. There goes Tibbers. Can he just turn around and consume him? He's going to try to, and he throws out. The barrier is enough. The flame, of course, is coming on Soaz, but it's just not enough damage. And Soaz at 93 minions may well have just picked himself up the game. Turns around, takes down Tibbers and says, thanks for 50 gold.
There you go. He's still got 500 health remaining. Actually, PDD, yeah, he's got not many places to go. He's just sitting there taking
He's dead. He's give up. He's give up.
Yeah. He knows that this one is over, so it's going to be Soaz that wins this one. So the minions stop focusing him here, but Soaz are going to come and be like, and 1 snowball.
They're dancing. They're dancing.
There it is.
There we go. It's going to be Soaz that takes it. First blood over PDD. The Frenchman looking very happy there, or not so much really. There's not a big smile in his face that had happened, but knowing him, he's happy inside.
He is happy inside. I know how Soaz is. Even when he loses, he shows
There's a big grin on his face.
It's on the inside of his mouth, his big grin at this point. But he's got to be happy. We saw how PDD performed yesterday in the team tournament. And yes, it was Nunu versus Annie. Yes, Nunu's not going to be allowed to be played, I'm sure, by anyone else throughout this tournament after seeing that one happen, if it wasn't obvious already.
Unless there's a counter pick available, they're going to try to bait out. But, I mean, Soaz really showed he's a cold-blooded killer, ran the Nunu, just shattered everything, right? Like, it was just AP Nunu's hard to push out a lane at 3.6.
Well, I mean, we called it at the start. We Nunu's got to be banned here, surely. This is not going to work. And then, sure enough, he lets it through. So next up, it's going to be Shai versus Stanley.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Like, there's not a better description.
I love this event.
Yeah.
There's so many big stars here. And they're all just, you know, this is a unique experience for these guys as well. The players and for you guys at home and for us casters, honestly, because seeing that these top players going head-to-head is just amazing.
Yeah, that's what we want to be here for. That's what we want to see. That's the whole point of the All-Stars.
That's why it's All-Stars,
right?
yeah.
And that's exactly what we're going to be finding out a little bit later on. Shai versus Stanley will be our next game here from the desk. But first of all, we're going to go over to the interview lounge where Shox is waiting.
Thank you very much, Joe. I'm here with LiQuID, who is, of course, the manager for the North American All-Star team. LiQuID, we're in the middle of the skill matchups. I know you're an avid player. Who would be your choice for a skill matchup like that?
I think Nunu's really strong, but I think at least my personal favorite champion would be Fiddlesticks, and just cross my fingers that they didn't go with something with stun, so he's pretty strong.
All right. But of course, you're here to manage the North American All-Star team who didn't manage to win yesterday. How do you identify, from your standpoint, what went wrong?
You know, it was unfortunate. We had done a lot of preparation in our boot camp the week before, and once we lost the second game, I pulled the guys off stage. I said immediately, let's just talk exactly about what happened, what are the mistakes, let's make sure that they don't happen tomorrow, and we're going to then beat EU. So mistake number 1 was this, mistake number 2 was this, mistake number 3 was this. Does anybody else have anything else to say? Went down the line, and we just focused on our next match. So
you're saying you're going to beat EU. What do you identify as like the main things to contain when you're playing against the European team?
I mean, we want to play to our strengths, which during the boot camp we focused on our early game and being able to snowball our early game, so we're going to be focusing on that. We've done a lot of research with regards to bans and picks, so we're going to focus on that as well.
All right, good luck in that matchup, and of course you've been around esports for a long time. What is your impression of this awesome venue?
This is unbelievable. I haven't seen anything like this since World Championships, so it's impressive. It's an honor to be here, and I'm glad to share an experience.
We're very glad to have you here. Thanks for the interview. And
Thank
for
you.
now, let's head back over to our guys at the desk.
Thanks a lot, Shocks. It's time for game 2 of the top lane skills competition. So let's have a look at our 2 players for this one. It's 2 superstars, without a doubt.
Absolutely amazing, guys. On the blue side, representing the Korean LCL, it is CJ Entus Frost's Shai.
And of course, on the red side, and honestly, both these guys are superstars, but the red side, this is the man right here. This is the Korean All-Stars TPA, Stanley.
And we have Frost player in red and TPA, Frost player in blue, TPA player in red. It couldn't be any more fitting for this one,
Yeah.
I think. So definitely going to be an exciting one. The players are getting ready to jump, of course, into Champion Select. Coming into this game, though, guys, what are you feeling? Can we even call a favorite?
Immediately, this is a rematch, guys.
Yep.
This is a rematch. This is TPA versus Frost. This is the World Finals right here. These guys have faced off against each other a number of times. Remember Nidalee that Stanley pulled out a number of times on Shai? Shai obviously famous for Singed. Don't think we're going to see that one, Joe, unfortunately. But who knows?
Sad.
Yeah, you just have different champions when it's down to just 1v1. I mean, the brush is a bit farther away than top lane.
Yes. So Caitlyn being banned out straight away, kind of been a standard ban. I think they watched Diamond and Insect yesterday. It was like, Insect probably just went, don't let Caitlyn through. It's not fun to play against.
No. And actually, I am surprised. I called it wrong. Annie is actually still a really big factor in the 1v1s as well. So, you called it before. Nunu, I think, is a really big deal here. But the standard AD carry gamut of Draven and Kennen and Ezreal are still available here.
Well, what gets me is why have they not gone for someone like LeBlanc, some really fearsome early game champion? So I mean, just anyone that could be strong within the first 5 levels before the ulti hits.
She would harass really, really well. Then right at 6, she'll try to burst you out. I'm not entirely sure. I know she can get pushed really hard, and then maybe...
She couldn't clear the waves, I suppose, either. But
yeah, it's really hard for her to wave clear, so you can try to just stack defense to go for the 100 minion mark or the turret, and as long as you don't get insta-give, she has no other tools to beat you with. And, maybe people have figured that out. When you consider champions like Elise getting banned out, that's a very similar champion who's going to poke you with Qs all day and eventually fall over.
Yeah, and she has better wave clear ability, which is a new one. You can harass someone out, but if you can't take the minions after that, then you've got another problem on your hands. We are going to see Kennen banned out there as a final, and Jason, of course, is already out. Draven, Caitlyn, Elise. Pretty standard stuff coming out here, but what are the picks going to be? Don't forget, guys, it is blind picks, so they're not going to know what they're going for. Varus was left open, and Varus is going to be locked in here by Shai.
All right, so this is the second Korean player to run an AD carry as his solo. Insect had run Twitch before when he beat up St. Vicious. So apparently, I don't know if they did a little bit of talking beforehand. I assume, they've been together practicing for the match. They're like, guys, AD carries actually destroy pretty hard in the 1v1s.
Well, Varus, we know, is very strong in the 1v1s. Double lift yesterday, 1 minute, 40 seconds, was it? Something like that. Double lift the next special into the final, and it is going to be an AD carry match-off. It is going to be Varus versus Twitch. Who do you give the upper hand in this 1v1?
As far as auto trades go, I actually like Varus more. He's got longer range. I think he's got a little bit more easily accessible burst. But if you sneak up on someone with Twitch, as we saw Insect try to do the entire time against Saint, Varus doesn't exactly get away from Twitch very easily.
Yeah, they're very similar in style, I'd say, because of, you know, the fact that you've got the Blight stacking there on Varus and then popping it with an ability. You've got the Expunge over with Twitch. I'm going to be really interested to see this one. Of course, as we said earlier on, it's somewhat of a grudge match. We've heard about the Season 2 World Championships a little bit earlier on, and I just wonder if Stanley has the ring on his table in clear vision of Shai right now.
I got this and you didn't. And look at the size of the ring, by the Stanley's hand ring. Oh my God, it is enormous. It's actually bigger than the size that exists, wasn't it? They had to specially, literally custom make it.
He's a big dude.
He's a big dude, for sure.
I would not want to undo on Stanley IRL, I'll tell you that. That would not, I mean,
that would not be a competition.
No, nor in League. So I'm going to let Stanley fight other pros, and that's fine. I'll talk about it and make sure I give him just enough praise.
So it looks like Shai's being pretty clever here. He doesn't want to walk into any stealth rats. We did see that in previous matchups when we've tried this game out before. This setting can be pretty lethal. So what is Stanley leveled to start with? Obviously, hail of arrows coming out from Shai there, so no surprise. And it is, of course, going to be expunged for Stanley.
So just because I like numbers, lifesteal, 2 lifesteal points on Shai, no lifesteal for Stanley. So for what it's worth, they play super long laning phase. Shai will have a little bit better odds with this one, but right now they're pretty equal.
Equal stuff. Went for the same items right off the get-go as well. Of course, it's 475 start with the red elixir and the health pot coming out. Shai actually already popping his for this.
It's going to be too early because he's not hitting Stanley right now. And the thing is, this game, like, we've seen a lot of these duels actually go for a good 10 minutes or so, where people have chugged through 3 or 4 elixirs. And I'm just not sure you necessarily want to waste yours right away, but Stanley's going to go in on Shai right away.
Wow, going straight in onto this one. The exhaust actually coming down, the ignites are down as well. This could actually turn to be her first kill from this one. Shai going super low. Stanley takes the turret hit as well. Is Shai going to go in there? Is he going to have a go at this one? He's very low. This is risky stuff. What Soaz decided, let's not do it yet.
The thing is, he's got his snipe. That's the thing. You know, Shai was wondering. I wasn't sure whether he was going to maybe try and pop him with a snipe there, but instead did go for it. Wow, very, very tight. That's all some of the spells used. Everything blown right there.
Yeah, and instead you're kind of left with Shai, the only one alone in the lane. So he's actually pulled up a minion kill lead out of this one. Stanley took that turret shot and it lost him the lane so far.
There's more minions. So 16 to 10. That's when Shai is going to go back. Stanley, of course, has already come back into play. Picked himself up a cloth armor. Certainly not a bad choice in an AD carry versus AD carry lane.
It's actually what we saw happen in the, was it Diamond versus Troll matchup, where the Caitlyn went back and could only afford cloth armor. Was like, well, shoot, I gotta grab that. He was seeing Shai, right? He's winning in minions, he's going for the Doran's Blade.
Yeah, he made sure he got the siege minion before he backed off. That was the main thing. He made sure he got that extra 40 gold to go back and top himself up as well. He stayed on the fountain just that a little bit longer. He's full health. We'll see whether Stanley goes for any aggression over Shai. I feel that Shai could probably just sit and farm this one on his turret now.
He'll only be up 1 minion though, so it's not the worst thing in the world for Stanley. He can't move back, but he got a lot of free damage from Shai for nothing.
He pulled it too early there. He didn't actually land it. Pulled it, trying to get a little bit too aggressive. Not gun Shai.
Not quite getting it out.
I thought you were making a Gun Woong reference actually, and I got confused.
Yeah, I wasn't really on the same page there either. Could just be the
advanced level jokes, I think.
Too good for us, D-Man.
Yeah, we're still on pun level. We haven't got onto the jokes just yet. Stanley, go on.
Are you saying my puns aren't jokes?
I never said that for
You've told me some of your puns this weekend, then. Some of them have been horrendous.
How dare you?
The slow goes down from Stanley on Shai. Doesn't bother following it. Yes, he does. Puts the expunge, but he was just out of range actually from the expunge arrow field. Didn't really make it count. The CS going back and forth. You can see Shai's actually starting to develop a bit of a lead over Stanley here in terms of CS, which honestly I feel he may well get to. But remember, both these are AD champions, so they could potentially push the tower down as well. But both of them trying to be aggressive. That's Shai once again. That hail of arrows has just felt a little bit too short because he's thinking Stanley's coming in for it. Now he definitely is.
Well, Stanley's got a little bit of time where he still has red elixir. This is a very small window to go in for this.
He's going to go in for it as well. Shai taking a lot of damage there. He's the expunge juice, and they're going to go head-to-head. One more hit, and Shai gets it just about. He's going to win the
back and during that fight, he hit a minion, got 5, bam.
Wow, and
Difference,
still live
wow.
with 30 health.
He's like, can I run over there? And I want to see Stanley. I want to run over to him.
And Stanley's like, he hit
He's like, damn.
level 5
Damn.
during that fight.
That's harsh. Yeah, Stanley is about 3 minions away. I'm actually looking at his bar right there.
And here comes Shai. This is
Yeah.
great to see the sports strategy. I mean, these two players, you know, they've probably played each other in tournaments a number of times, certainly the World Finals, and Shai's probably thinking, yeah, got some revenge, man. And then Stanley just picks up and says, he's in this ring.
Yeah.
He's in this ring.
Well, they could always meet in the finals again here.
Absolutely, they could.
That is very true. There's still a real possibility of that. And of course, we've not seen the Green All-Stars in action just yet. We still don't quite know what to expect from them.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Like I'm looking forward to all the matches here. Of course, we've still got the mid laner matches coming as well, which are going to be really great. The finals of all the skill matches are going to be tomorrow as well. And then we got 2 BO3s of really good BO3s and any EU rivalry. You know, China LPL versus Garena. Like this is still going to be a great game.
Okay,
great
so
day.
let's just look towards the final, because that is now Shai versus Soaz.
Yep.
Couldn't quite remember that. Now that's an AD carry going towards a Nunu. Are we thinking Nunu's going to get banned? Are you thinking he's going to say, okay, I can counter that with an AD carry?
Well, it's interesting because Soaz banned a bunch of AD carries when he was, you know, in his match as well. So he knows to respect those types of champions. So I would expect that Nunu gets banned out, yes, and Soaz got to pick something else. And I just don't know what his pecking order is, though.
Unless Shai has been preparing his Nunu specifically for this one. I don't think Soaz would ban it. We may end up seeing
Can you
2 Nunus snowballing at each
imagine
other
that?
the entire time.
Snowballs. Oh god, that game would go on forever.
It would go to 100 minions.
It
Well,
would absolutely.
that's
100%.
That's the game where a barrier can really make the difference, or a flash, you know, that whoever gets that biggest distance from the snowball, it's going to follow
Double
you either way.
zero going on. Yeah, they're both just stood next to each other.
The funny thing about that is, like, if they're both low and they're both channeling absolute 0, right? It deals more damage the longer you channel.
Who's got the nerves to fall
Who
off
blinks
it?
first?
You've got to cancel it first to deal damage first. But if you don't do enough damage, he gets to kill you.
It's a
And
game
you've got to
of
math
nerves.
out absolute 0's damage.
So if we're going to get a double lead scene, maybe they're going to get saying, so we have a double Nunu.
We should definitely talk to the players tonight, see if we can you know, organize that one to happen. But coming up, of course, the world's best middle players make their way to the main stage for their skills competition semi-final matches. Guys, the 2013 League of Legends All-Star Weekend will return right after this.